Hey guys, welcome back. This is actually part two of my thoughts on the Pocket 4. In the previous video, I've shown you like the quality of life upgrades that they've put in and what I think about it, if I think that it is worth actually upgrading if you already have the Pocket 3 or buying if you don't have the Pocket 3. Obviously, that is up to everyone's own decision. But for me, I decided to upgrade to the Pocket 4 for one simple reason, and it's because they have the film tones that was introduced in the Action 6 and in the Nano. I'm actually a little bit hopeful that they would introduce it to the DJI Neo 2, because then all of my DJI products that's in my holy grail trifecta would have the film tones. But one can only wish. Anyways, so I'll cut into some clips that I have pre-recorded a couple of days back. You'll notice that my outfit is the same as the outfit that I had in the previous video, but alas, that's what it is. Yeah, I wanted to test out whether the film tones on the Pocket 4 correspond with the film tones of the Nano, so that I don't have to color grade and edit too much, because I am probably the laziest person when it comes to editing footage. I love filming, but I don't like the editing process. And so if I can make my workflow so much easier, I'm going to do that. So anyway, that's the main reason I got the Pocket 4. And the additional quality of life features are actually pretty great. So I don't regret it. I just hope I can sell my Pocket 3 for a good amount of money so that I'm not too out of pocket too much. You know what I mean? Yeah, but anyways, let's cut into the comparison. My intention for getting the Pocket 4, and I've mentioned this in some of the clips, is that I actually want to use my Nano, which I'm filming on, as a secondary camera to give me that like wide angle feel, but I want to use my Pocket 4 for talking heads and like vlogging all around. Okay, so now they are both recording on the CC film tone. And the difference with the Nano and the Pocket 4 is that you can control the intensity or the strength of the film tone on the Pocket 4, but not on the Nano. The Nano is always going to be 100%, whereas in the Pocket 4, you can choose 100, 70, 50, and I think 30%. I had to close the balcony door because it's really noisy. Now this is now filming on NC film tone, both at 100%. From what I can see, and I don't know if it's just the preview is low res on the Nano because I've got a microphone on and the Nano and the Vision dock are all separated. But it looks like it's warmer on the Pocket 4 than it is on the Nano. Now this is filming in what the Nano calls as TR, or what the Pocket 4 calls as pastel. So as you can see, they're both like supposed to bring you pleasing skin tone. So we will see when I put them side by side whether they correspond with each other. These are both WT on the Nano and warm tone on the Pocket 4. So WT stands for warm tone. Are they the same? We will see. But they are all on auto. The only thing that I have changed is the film tone, but everything else is auto. I think I need to also caveat this with the fact that the Pocket 4 has got a 1-inch sensor, whereas the Nano has got, is it a 1/2 inch? I can't remember. Yeah, but I'll put them on the screen just in case. So now this one is called Movie in the Pocket 4 and FE in the Nano. So I was giving you the caveat of the sensor size because obviously the larger sensor would bring in more light. The Pocket 4 is also a little bit closer to me than where the Nano is. But it should be kind of similar. This is the film tone that's supposed to be cinematic. All right, now these are both an amber light that's specific or is best for historical architecture. That's the description. The description of NV on the Nano and the description of retro on the Pocket 4 are exactly the same. The question is the output the same? Right now, so as I was editing the clips and putting them side by side, what I noticed was like the undertones were correct, but you can tell that there is a difference in lighting. I will say though that it's probably because of the wider field of view of the Nano. It captures a little bit more of the environment, whereas the Pocket 4 is more closed up. They were in a similar sort of like, maybe no. I'd say maybe 5 inches apart, but because the Nano has a wider field of view, it shows more, and it also shows more of the light that comes into the room as opposed to the Pocket 4. And you got to remember that with the Pocket 4, it has that, I forgot what the term they use is, but that you can like focus a product in front of it, and so it uses the aperture to focus on the object that's closest to it, and so that's probably why the background is a little bit more blurred and dark when looking at the Pocket 4, whereas my face was a bit more, has a bit more lighting, whereas with the Nano, the lighting is even. But you can tell that the undertone is correct. So if you're looking at using this as your secondary camera, or your B cam, as we call it in photography, if you want to use it as your B camera, and have the same sort of like undertones and color grading without actually having to do the editing, to do it in post-process in editing, then you can definitely do that. When I was looking at the descriptions for each of the film tones on both the Pocket 4 and the Nano, while they are called different names, I think except for NCCC, yeah, except for NC and CC, they're on both cameras, they're called the same thing, but the rest of the film tones are called something different. But if you actually read the descriptions, they are the same thing. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful in showing you guys the different film tones, what they actually look like on a person, what the skin tone would look like if you apply that. Remember that with a Pocket 4, you can increase and decrease the intensity of the film tones, whereas with the Nano, it stays at 100% strength. I don't know if there is going to be a firmware update to make it the same as the Pocket 4, or if it will remain the same way. DJI never tells me these things. I just discover it from other people. But anyways, if they do that, it'll be a welcome change so that you can actually match up the two cameras. But yeah, I feel like this would be a good way to actually use both cameras with the film tones already built into the videos. And you can always, adjust the exposures in post-process if that's something that you want to do. Personally, for me, as if I can do as little editing as possible, that's my goal. If I can just chuck the the clips in and create the video that way without having to fuff around with exposures, with white balances and all that stuff, then I would prefer to do that. The shorter the workflow, the simpler the workflow, the better. All right, thanks for watching.